What it is, what is up, welcome back to my channel. It's a wrap, aka Yudi here. I'm about to read some 2000s Black fanfic. And before I tell you what I'm going to read, I have to give an intro to 2000s Black fanfic and just some happy memories, some nostalgia. I feel like I mentioned a fanfic probably twice, maybe 3 times in the calendar year on my channel in a random video, that some story reminds me of a fanfic that I read in the 2000s. But I went through my Google Drive and it reminded me, I'm like, oh, these stories were so good. I wonder if they're still good. And wouldn't it be fun to do a vlog of me rereading these stories and sharing what I think about them as I read it? I can't do this video without at least talking about my favorites. And then we're going to talk about the ones I'm actually going to read. So I was a 2000s Black fanfic girly. You know, I was on the MSN boards. I was on the forums, like the BBS Reloadeds and the fiction camps. If for those that remember, if he was there, he was there. Okay. Insert R&B heartthrob, right, of the 2000s boy band, a b2k, a b5, a Chris Brown, he who shall not be named, but I'm going to name him just for the sake of this video, Trey Songz, because, you know, he was hot back then. And wow, how the mighty have fallen. For all the people I've listed, I mean, b2k, they just made it out, but b5 actually, b5 is doing, I mean, apart from being associated with Bad Boy, I think we hear the least crazy things about them, if any at all. I occasionally see on TikTok somebody put out the signal of who read fanfic to my millennial Black girl, and I always catch it, and I'm always excited to see people, you know, happily, nostalgically remember their time as an adolescent reading things that they know that they shouldn't have been reading and writing ish that they had no business writing. But yeah, now we're grown and I can read this through grown people's eyes. And what I thought was, let me not be blasphemous, these writers could have been the next Kennedy Ryan, the next Tia Williams, like, but you should have had a deal. Top level writing from young people, okay? Teenagers. Teenagers at best, right? Because we were all young on this internet, writing God knows what. But some of it was genius. And I've saved the genius ones. And I just want to, one, call them out, give the storyline, and be all like, yes, this used to be my story. And if y'all remember these stories, you know, hop down in the comments. Where are my people? Where are my people? So first, I want to start off with the biggest shout out, like the biggest, like actually out of all of them, this is the only person I remember their username or their name, their pen name on these forums. And that was Peachy. Peachy used to be that girl. Peachy used to be that girl. What can we compare Peachy to? No, she was the Kennedy Ryan of Black fanfic. That's all that I have to say. Peachy used to be that girl. Okay. At some point in the 2000s, she disappeared. Maybe now she's an actual writer. She had this mafia series. Let's just call it DeLuca Brothers. I don't know what we would call the series, but it was based on the DeLuca Brothers. So the DeLuca Brothers were these brothers that were in a mafia. And it was 4 books. Okay, I said 4 books. It was 4 stories. There were books to me. And it was Rise, Fall, Needed, and Wanted. Okay, and each story concentrated on a different brother. I think they were Italian, DeLuca. If they weren't Italian, there was Russian, but the DeLuca brothers. So if I had to pick my favorite of the 4 brothers and of the 4 stories, it was the third story hit. The third story was Needed. I'm pretty sure it was the youngest brother, Joey. And Joey was a boxer, like an MFF fighter. Boxer, MFF, somewhere in that realm. And the female main character, the person he was pursuing in a relationship with, was Cass, who was a veterinarian. okay? And she was just all like, Joey's a lot. Joey's a hothead. Joey's a womanizer. Joey's too much. I'm a veterinarian. I'm living a normal ass life. And I ate kneaded up. Okay. If I can remember I know I remember the three brothers' names. I think the fourth one wasn't actually a brother, because that's what I'm thinking, they're Russian and they're not. But like, it was Nico, Angelo, Joey, who was my favorite, and then Alex, who was the last one, who was, I think, Wanted. Only mafia series I think I've ever read. To be honest, I don't read interracial romance, but this is the only interracial romance that I was like, I could get down with this one. Other one that is another banger that's also by Peachy is Dying to Live. Her mother passes away. She gets relocated, I think, to live with her aunt. And she coming to age. She's struggling. She lost her mother. She's in this new city or whatever. And she's trying to adjust. But in adjusting, she meets J Boog's character, who is like the high school troublemaker, the high school, like, the least likely to succeed. Put an image, it's J Boog. So anyway, she meets him and they become friends to lovers, okay? But it's, in essence, a coming to age story of this girl who's grieving the loss of her mother and also trying to adjust being in a new school, in a new environment. And then, the whole opposite attracts. Technically, she's a good girl. He's a bad guy. That's pretty much the story. And she's dying to live. Like, she's dying to grow up, to have some independence in her life. Very fitting title. Okay. Now, this is my favorite one. This one is my favorite one. This one I actually have reread multiple times. And it's been a while since I've reread it as like a grown woman. I've reread a lot like in my teens, my 20s. But that's Changes. Okay. Changes is probably my favorite out of all the ones that I'm going to mention right now. And it's a Fizz story. Okay. But Fizz is an IT dude. Fizz is the office tech guy. He be fixing the computers and setting up the computers in the cubicles, okay? And there's this new employee in the office that he's helping, set up and fix the computer or whatever like that. And I can't remember her name. Cody. Her name was Cody. So Cody is new in the office, right? And they bump heads in the beginning. She knows about Fizz's Drew. She knows about his reputation. And she's just like she's not feeling dude. But somehow they get to know each other outside of the office and become friends. Of course, friends to lovers. And we learn more about Cody and Cody's checkered past. Because Cody's also deaf. But we don't know why. She wasn't born deaf. We don't know how she became deaf. And we learn that throughout the story. Okay? And both, by meeting each other, are transformed. Okay? That's the best I can give about this story. But Changes is my favorite. I've already read it so many times. Of course, there's more Peachy stories. Okay? I think there's like Become, Promises to Keep, Bittersweet. But I think the DeLuca brothers, Dying to Live, and Changes are my top three Peachy. Okay? We can talk about the rest in the comments. Okay? Now, these are authors these are stories that I don't remember who wrote them, but I just knew that I used to eat them up. The first one I'm going to start off with is a short story. It's a short story, and I can't remember who used to write. There used to be someone on the boards that used to write these like really good novella, short, they're shorter than a novella, very short. And she wrote this short story, and it was just the cross symbol. That was it. It was the cross symbol. That was the name of the story. Okay. And this one's a Chris Brown one. Put somebody else in your head. You don't even have to be these celebrities at this point. In my head, there's somebody completely different. But anyway, it's a short story. It's this girl who finds this cat. Okay. She finds this cat, and she takes this cat in, and the cat is so loving and affectionate and, is protecting her. And like, she's like, am I falling in love with this cat? You know, but little does she know, this cat is actually a man who got into a car accident and ended up dying. Okay, dying and being reincarnated as a cat. Okay, and his whole life he has never known true love until he becomes the pet to this chick that found his stray reincarnated cat body in the streets. That's the best way I can describe it. Okay, this one is one author that I just can't remember their name. Okay, I can't remember their names. If somebody remembers their name because you remember these stories, again, this is a conversation. Drop it down in the comments. But Demonville. Baby, if you all BBS Reloaded, she sees these stories up. She sees Demonville. All the three stories I'm about to mention were written by the same person, and the main protagonist was always Chris Brown. But he don't gotta be Chris Brown, because it was just the person, first of all, which is now kind of problematic thinking back on it. It was always like some biracial man. He was described as a biracial, okay? Even though we know Chris is not biracial. And they were always in some type of if not organized crime, some type of frat. In the case of Demonville, okay, of course, the main character is Cristiano. And he's Black and Italian. And he's in a frat. This is at a college. Maybe at HBCU? I think HBCU. I think it's at HBCU. And he in this popular frat, and he comes from means, and he meets the main female character who was playing basketball in college, but something happens, and I think she has a record, and now she's at this school, and she's trying to like clean up, I guess, her past and start anew at this school. And ultimately she ends up joining, I think, a sorority that's like in direct conflict with the fraternity that Cristiano's in. And I don't know, it's like not opposite attracts. It's like forbidden love. Star-crossed lovers. That's it. Star-crossed lovers. All the three, this might be my least. This might be on the bottom. This might be my least, the three. The next one I'm about to name is definitely the top one. It's the top one. Like, ate that ish up. Do you know what it reminds me of? The film Why Do Fools Fall in Love? Dominic the Don is probably my favorite of the three by this person that used to write BBS Reloaded. Dominic the Don, okay, when we read the story, Dominic has died, okay? We don't know how he's died. We just know that he's dead. And in his death, he has three women that have his children. He has three. One of them is the wife. Two of them are the mistress. Okay. So he has this wife, two mistress. The wife is like kind of happy that he's died, because she's like, he's put me through so much, but also kind of sad that he's gone, because I think she kind of loved that man. Okay. But the story then goes back to explain how Dominic has met these three women and the relationship that he had with them, and what type of person Dominic was that has ultimately led to his death. Okay, like, baby, genius writing. Actually, this is gonna be in the top 5. I have to go back and read Dominic the Don. What was she thinking when she wrote the story? She probably watched Why Do Fools Fall in Love and was all like, we need a true to the game version of it. That's the only thing I can think of. She ate that ish up. Okay. G was the story of this man. Was he struggling with his sexuality, or was he just bisexual? Either way, he has commitment issues. Commitment issues. He's like navigating his sexuality, and it spans from like his years in college to the early days of his career in Atlanta. And I guess that's the best way I can summarize it without giving away the story. But yeah, he's like, it narrates his like tumultuous life, right? Like his tumultuous dealings with relationship and like what he's dealing with. And pretty much like, yeah, his issues with commitment, his issues with him trying to navigate his sexuality. That's the best way I can describe G. The person who wrote the novella with the cross sign, with the reincarnated cat, is the same one that wrote this story. She used to write the best short stories. So this one's called Down to the Bone. There's another one that, no, this is the one I'm thinking of, Down to the Bone. And Down to the Bone, I think it's supposed to be general, but if we were giving an image of the main male character, if we were giving like an image representation, if I can remember who it was back then, it was Tristan Wilds. You know, colorism, wow. It had us in the 2000s. But either way, Down to the Bone is, if I could summarize it as a trope, it's opposites attract. Okay, the main character, the main male character, is a football player in college. The main female character is very studious, and I think she's studying to be like an anthropologist. Like, she's into bones and, you know, the human, whatever. Yeah, anthropology. She's into anything surrounding anthropology. So she's in the library. But either way, I forgot how. I think she ends up on a project with him, or she ends up having to tutor him or something like that. And at first she's like, it's not really enemies, but she just thinks, you know, low of him because he's an athlete. But she gets to know him and she's like, oh, actually, you're kind of cool. And they come to get to know each other and like each other. That's pretty much as simple as it gets. But wow, great writing, very succinct, to the point. Chef's kiss. That's all I gotta say. All right, the next one, full disclosure. I should add to the list because this is probably the one that's hopefully the least questionably. Full disclosure is, so this guy and this girl, they've just been dumped. Okay, and they're at the bar moping about it, moping about men, moping about women, and somehow they come to this genius idea. Maybe it's not genius, but they're all like, we should go on a date with each other and just be like, full disclosure, we should be completely honest with each other, like no pretenses, like no bounds to what we share, like we're just, again, full disclosure. And I guess being their most unfiltered, authentic selves, they get to know each other on a deeper level that turns into them liking each other. That's the best way I can put it. But full disclosure, let me not say that because I haven't read it in a while. This is one I haven't read in a while. But that was a good one. Okay, this one, I should link this in my channel, but I reread sometimes I'll go back and reread a book, like books that I'm just like, oh, I used to love this when I was younger, and played. If y'all remember Dana Davidson, I think these are the only two books she read, but they were really popular back when she wrote it. But it's Played and Kyra, Jason and Kyra. I'll put the pictures up here. So girl number 8 reminds me of Played, but just a little bit more grown. Were they in high school also? Maybe it's the same age range. But girl number 8 is about these guys that have this group where they keep a number of all the women, or all the girls, because they're young, all the girls that they've slept with, okay? But one of the guys in the group, who's the main male character, is really trying to sleep with girl number 8. Girl number 8 is not really having it. But also, as he learns about girl number 8, he's all like, this is stupid. And I actually like girl number 8. So pretty much we go through like the games that are being played in order to like fulfill this pact that he has with his boys, which is stupid. And then this like budding, getting to know each other, I actually like you thing going on. But yeah, that's girl number 8. It's all on a bed. Okay, and then my last one, the one that I think I brought up in another video because I compared it to, it was in my DNF video. I'll put the picture up here of the book that I was just like, oh, it reminds you of this book. And again, I haven't read this one in a while, so it might have not aged well. Okay. And this is the specialness right next door. Okay. The specialness right next door. Special moves in from her grandmother's into her sister. I think her sister's name was Medora, if I'm not mistaken. And she works at like a diner. But anyway, she moves in with her older sister. And, you know, she's special because, you know, she has some cognitive delays, or is that the right word? But she has some cognitive disabilities, okay? And she moves in again with her sister Medora. And Medora is talking to the neighbor who, I forget the neighbor's name, but it's supposed to be Omarion. It's a b2k fic, okay? So the neighbor, she's talking to the neighbor, and the neighbor's cousin has just moved in, I think from New York. But anyway, he was causing trouble at his house. His family was like, baby, you gotta go, you gotta get cleaned up. He moves in with his cousin. And baby, Special just was like, why is this man so mean and unhappy? Like, she's just like, I don't like this dude. But also, his cousin is like, what is up with this girl? Like, she kind of, you know. And then, you know, they get to know each other. But Specialness right next door, I would also consider it like a coming of age, because she's also trying to establish some sense of autonomy, like as she, and I think it's also pushed by this rebellious character, the cousin, who's supposed to be Jay, but this rebellious character, and he's all like, girl, you grown, you don't gotta do that. Girl, you grown, you got your own mind. And she's like, I do got my own mind, I can't make my own decisions. And then, you know, of course, all these are like, at the end of the day, romances. But that's all the fanfic. There's more, but these are just the ones that were like, it was on my heart that I just had to talk about, you know. And if you remember the authors, leave them down in the description, because I don't remember some of these authors, apart from Peachy, because I literally have a folder and it's named Peachy and it has all her stories in it. But yeah, if I had to give, maybe not top 5, top 4, nah, top 5. Let's do top 5. Okay. If I had to choose 2 from Peachy, okay, it's going to be Changes and Wanted from the DeLuca series. Definitely going to give those a read and come back to y'all. And then the next one, if I could throw in a short story, I'm going to throw in Cross Symbol. Okay, that's what I'm going to call the story, Cross Symbol. Okay, and then the last 2, if I had to throw in the last 2, definitely Dominic the Don, because I thought Dominic the Don, I remember reading it and getting to the end and being all like, wow. Now, I wonder if I'll still be like, wow, today. But yeah, Dominic the Don. And, ooh, this is hard. Dominic the Don and Full Disclosure. Let's do Full Disclosure, because I think I have the most distance from that story. I really don't remember how it goes. So we're just going to do Full Disclosure, The Cross Symbol, Dominic the Don, Changes, and Wanted. I didn't mean to talk this long, but I'll be back with my updates and thoughts.